So, Mathieu, I'm going to cut in there. I mean, that is really great what you told us, and I know you have many more other stories to tell. Same for Clemens. But we're coming towards the end of the session now, and there's one issue that I'd like to underline, if I may. You mentioned in working with SMEs, you say what you do in year 1, in year 2, year 3, etc. It's clear that the relationship is very different from one where some guy arrives with a checklist and you make some measurements and you go home and you deliver a report and that's that. I mean, you really are into another kind of a relationship with the client when you're talking about this carbon audit. And so the audit, in a sense, it's a leg in the door, you know, to deal with issues which are really strategic and to develop a relationship that's going to continue for many years, you know, with this organization. And I think it's the same thing with Clemens too. So could both of you, I'd like both of you just to wrap up a little bit, you know, and talk about the relationship between the auditor and the client, and in terms of how this needs to change in the coming years. So maybe Clemens, you can jump in first, and then Mathieu, and then we'll have to wrap up the session because we're coming up to a coffee break.
Yeah, thank you for that question. I think the major issue here is that the energy auditor will have to become a more general consultant to the company. And he needs to understand that really. So the energy audit might be the entry to the company, but then it has to be bigger, and his understanding of what he's contributing to the company is not that he's only working on energy projects, but that he is contributing something to the company's strategic impacts. So, and this for energy auditors is of course also a turnaround in their thinking. Usually, they thought their thinking was, and for most still is, okay, I deliver some projects and deliver the report and that's it, but that's not it. So the process is to really accompany also the implementation, the uptake of the projects, and therefore you need to really understand the company as an energy auditor. So you need to understand what this company is doing, and you need to talk to people beyond the technical people, but also to human resources people, to operations people, to strategic people inside the company. And then this can become more like a consultancy relationship and accompanying them in their strategic development. And this understanding, I mean, it has to come from both sides. So it's the energy auditors somehow need to change their attitude, but also usually the energy department people who hire the energy auditor need to understand, okay, this is not a single one-time intervention, but this is a start of a continuous process of changing something in the company. And if we can enable this and we have this continuous improvements, I mean, it's more like energy audits. It's like energy management, it's carbon management, it's strategic management in the company. So it becomes more and goes beyond this one-time intervention. And this is important. And then some good things can happen.
Thanks. So, Mathieu, what's your view on this? And also, can one audit company address all of the needs of its clients? You know, maybe you need to pull in partners. Maybe you need to act like a GP, where sometimes you diagnose the problem and you direct the patient to a specialist. Exactly. But how do you see this evolving anyway in the future?
Yeah, that's exactly that. Huh? So, in fact, today, when we talk about carbon audits, it's just, let's say, the first exercise, but it's not really an audit indeed. It's more an opportunity to raise awareness about all the complexity and the possibilities in terms of climate issues for the company. And in fact, it's really more carbon strategy consulting services that we are providing year after year. And the first year, it will be more focused on accounting. The second year will be more focused on with comparison between the first year and the second year, and to talk about regarding the evolution of the sector, about targets, about benchmark with the competitors, and about actions. So regarding actions, indeed, we cannot be specialists of everything. So sometimes for some companies, the priority will be more on energy, and we are not performing energy audits. We are just calculating the CO2 impact related to the energy consumptions. But then if you really want to understand how far you can go to reduce your energy bills, you need to perform these energy audits that are really more detailed. But it can be also related to car fleet, as I said before. It can be related to homework commuting. It can be related to business travel. So in a pre or post-COVID world, let's say. It can be related to IT services too. So we cannot be a specialist of all of that. So after that, we need indeed to have a partner from the existing partner from the company, or a partner that we can suggest at least. But we are not directly linked to only one partner. There is no exclusivity related to that, fortunately. But yeah, indeed, there is this need to, after that, to get a bit more deeper in the issue that has been prioritized with a specialist, indeed. But we have now clients that we are assisting since more than 10 years. So every year we are performing the calculation, but then all the consulting services now are more focused on understanding how it has been involved, why it has involved in that way, what is the performance in comparison to the sector, how to get more and more ambitious, because as you said at the beginning, we are not doing enough for the moment. So at the beginning, there was one ambition, but it needs to be upgraded year after year in order to tackle with all the necessary efforts in order to solve this climate issue.
Just one final remark, and coming back to the whole issue of the European Energy Efficiency Directive. The legislation requires large companies to do an audit at least every 4 years. And so this is very far away from what you prescribe, which is an ongoing relationship and a situation where you do the accounting on an annual basis, like the same as you do financial accounting. So it seems to me that the expected impact from the EED approach, it's very hard to expect any kind of a serious impact, because if you do an audit and then come back in 4 or 5 years' time, so much water has gone under the bridge, there's very unlikely to be any memory within the organization and any continuity of action or strategy from one year to the other. But in any case, Bruno, I think we have to wrap up there. Is that the end of our session?
Absolutely, Patrick. Thank you very much for the interesting last hour, and also Clemens and Mathieu, thank you for sharing your insights on this very interesting topic. I think it's clear that there's a lot to be told still, obviously, but it's time for coffee now. So we'll see each other in about a half an hour at 11 a.m. So see you in a bit. All right, thank you.